Hello and welcome to another quick look. Me, GamerWolfSix, of another furry visual novel. This one, Devil's Gambit, a game about Hector, a badger healer, I'm believing the guy on the left, returning to a little town of Rannai, the birthplace of his fondest memories. He holds dearly his time with the mischievous yet friendly wolves, the stories they told, the fertile forest east of town, and the mist that heralded every sunrise. Most of all, he remembers Cadgan, I guess the guy on the right, the wolf, a bit younger and smaller than himself. Sure, he looks a bit taller, and unrepentant troublemaker who left him a bundle of emotions, or in a bundle of emotions. But that was 9 years ago, when he was a teenager. Upon his return, Hector finds a town transformed by the Duke's reign. I'm guessing the guy in the middle? I don't know. And a Cadgan that has grown into a cold, distant mountain of a man. Okay, so yeah, him. As he works as a healer and reignites the long-forgotten passion, Hector notices something about other than love in the air. The tree's roots stir with every step. So anyways, before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, then you can go to their Patreon, where it's $3 a month. And yeah, double checking their itch.io page, there was an update 7 days ago, at least as of recording. Also, if you want me to do a Let's Play series of this game, then tell me, and I'll give it a point, which will put it up higher on the user's choice list. And if you want me to do quick looks of any other game, then tell me, and I'll add it to the quick look slot. So, reset our face, and begin. It's spooky. It was born among screams, there in Rannai, where the day is enshrouded by the frigid mist and orange lights warm up the night, where beyond the forest, mountains have eyes. The hills have eyes? The ruins and the trees alike grow out of the scar. Its roots spread across the earth, touching all that dared seek it. Act 1, Chapter 1. Hector. One morning, a lion knight invited us into a wagon, clean, relatively silent, and splinter-free seats. As it took us into the forest, Dad made me read him a book, since I was falling behind on my studies. However, the twisted trees greeted us through the front opening, past the wolf coachman, stole all my attention. Despite his stern gaze, and him telling me to read a sentence over and over again, my head was full of what happened in the tavern the day before. I always hate doing that when, like, you're reading a book and you're, like, a paragraph down, a page down, maybe 2 pages, and you're like, do you remember what we just read? And it's like, nope. It's like, great. Well, Dad drank with the wolves. I talked to the innkeeper's daughter, a girl about my age with gray fur, round eyes, and an impish smile, by the name of Teresa. She asked typical questions. Why were my ears round, and my nose so big? Where did I come from? When the girl got bored, she shot a glance at the adults before showing me that toothy smile. You know, there are demons in the forest. Lions say they're gone, but they aren't. What? You know that expedition the Duke did a while ago? Well, it was demons that killed his soldiers. A demon did it. And what pride that last remark had carried. Eventually, the path led us to an open area, and the wagon came to a halt. We got off and saw, past our faded breath, the mansion that seemed more like a castle, tall and white, with a tower in every corner. A small garden separated us from the steps that led to the entrance. A badger. Sitting among the bushes, tulips, and pebbles at his feet, a young wolf. Okay, wolf. staring up at the window. I mean, it was like, he has a big nose, so is he the guy? I don't know. His clothes are modest, his nape gray, and his hands and face white, sort of like a badger. When he noticed us and turned around, I got a good look at his blue yet fiery eyes. It lasted long enough to make his distrust palpable. Then he shot the window a last glance before turning to face the nearby trees and began tossing pebbles toward the crooked branches. Hector! Oh, yes, Dad? You're so scatterbrained today. I'm sorry. A guard is coming. Pay attention and remember to greet him in the way I taught you. A tall lion, wielding a spear, shook hands with my father. It's an honor to be in your presence, sir. I'm Eogan, and this is my son Hector. I opened my mouth, but the guard cut in. I've been expecting you, Doctor. Please, step inside. His Grace will want to see you post-haste. I find that such an interesting word, post-haste. And so, Dad forgot all about my greeting. We followed the guard inside, upstairs. I was told to wait on the lower floor, and that if I needed anything, to call one of the other guards or a servant. But I kept worrying about the greeting. I sat on the first step of the stairs, clutching my knees. I didn't think there was any moment I could have introduced myself. Yeah. If Dad forgot, then maybe it wasn't important. With that reassurance, I calmed down and looked at my surroundings. Wherever my eyes went, there were paintings, suits of armor, packed bookshelves, and display cases containing weapons or smaller cases with gems inside, or other shiny things. So much wealth. It would have taken hundreds of lifetimes to work to build this hall. It was best not to touch anything, but I was getting bored and there was no sign of adults returning. A stroll wouldn't hurt. Down the hallway leading further into the mansion, there were the faintest smells of spices, fresh clothes, and booths. There must have been servants working there, and guards were all over the place, but most of them were down the path to my right. I figured I'd go to the left, since I didn't want to bump into anyone. Are we like kneeling, or are we just that short? I mean, is there a hide button? I don't know. Or I guess that could be just a fake suit of armor pet stool. However, as I walked down the desolate hallway, my nose let me know that I wasn't alone after all. I didn't need to see him to know he was a wolf. He turned around suddenly, right in time to catch him trying to hide inside one of the empty rooms. Oh, it's you. Were you following me? What's your name? We stared at each other for who knows how long. Cadgan finally stepped forward, wearing an unflinching glare. He was shorter than me, and so much skinnier. The blue of his eyes and the sheen of his fur captivated me. Get out. What? Get out of the mansion. Demons live in this forest. Oh, you're just like Teresa, trying to scare me. His ear twitches. Teresa? Are you guys friends? I'm being serious. He opened his arms, inviting me to look around. The demons chased out the people living here. They'll do the same to you because you're an outsider. They'll curse you, and you'll be lucky to leave alive. I don't believe you. Teresa said they'd only do that if you go into the valley. Not that they're real, but if they were. Ask anyone, you'll see. It frustrated Cadgan that where he wanted fear, there was instead curiosity. Anyway, who are you? I'm Hector, and I'm in training to become a doctor like my dad. Are you the son of a servant? I'm nobody's servant. I was taken aback by the sudden rage. He shoved me and I landed on my butt. Then the wolf turned tail and ran away. I chased after him, but he turned a corner and I lost him. Or rather, my eyes did, but I didn't need sight to track him. I followed his trail to the garden, to a little corner hidden by the bushes, reaching up to my shoulders. Cadgan sat, cracking open nuts with his teeth, before munching on the insides. His tail swished, disturbing the brush behind him. Every once in a while, he pulled on his collar, as though hot under the sun. Either I made some noise, or he smelled me back because he faced my way. He gave me a taste of wolf knuckle and Rannai's grass and dirt, as well as bloody nostrils. When Dad finally descended the stairs and asked what happened, I said I slipped down the steps while going to the garden. That should have been a sign to steer clear of him, but I didn't. I returned to the same spot a few days later, bringing a dozen or so nuts, wrapped in cloth. Cadgan eyed me with suspicion, but didn't hit me this time. "Where'd you get those?" And point at my nose. Got their smell when you were eating them the other day, so I went to the forest and found some. Huh, where you didn't get lost. All badgers are great foragers. Can I sit? I'll share some if you let me. The wolf looked away, and I invited myself into the small space. I put the cloth between us. Some nuts rolled out. We ate them while talking. You haven't told me your name. I'm Hector. Also, what are nuts? Like, I know what nuts are, but like, are they the seeds of trees or something like that? Is it like they're supposed to sit on the ground and then eventually break out of the hard as heck shell or something? I don't know. I'd like to hear it from you. Fine. Cadgan. That's a nice name. Hey, I caught your smell in the forest. Well, yes. I sneak out sometimes. Or else would I find nuts? I heard you weren't allowed out there. Aren't you afraid the guards of the guards catching you? Or the Duke getting mad? They used to get mad, but now they know I'll be back. Dad said Cadgan was an orphan. It was better to change the subject, unless I wanted an angry wolf to rough me up today, too. Dad woke up to a spider in his shoe today. Cadgan snorted. Oh, what did he say? Say? He was in the middle of putting it on when he noticed it. He screamed, chased the bug around, and tossed it out the window when he caught it. Heh, must be the curse. Sure. A chuckle escaped me as well. Even Dad had gotten a laugh out of it after the fear passed. When are you going to the forest next? Whenever I want, I guess. I want to come along. Cadgan made a face, as though he was deep in thought. I guess you proved you can handle it. You aren't that much of a wimp. I'm not. The wolf swiped a nut from my hand, cracked it, spat the shell out, and opened his jaw wide. After holding that position for a moment, he laughed and tossed it back to me. I caught it after it hit my chest. Cadgan went on about the forest, but I was still repeating what had just happened in my mind. The moment he stole a nut, cracked it. His face had sharp teeth. His claws. Each left a searing mark in my memory. Being young. Act 1, Chapter 2, The Return. 11 years later. I always like it when they... I didn't click anything, but I always like it when they let you, click whether or not it, because, like, I can be slow reading sometimes, and it's like, I would like them to not do that. Because, like, what happens if I was in the middle of the beginning part, and it decided to auto, move? Then I'm like, well, I can't read them. Thunder tears through the sky, startling me awake. The beasts of burden roar. The peg-leg coachman shouts, joining them as he reins them in. I grasp my chest as the old wolf subdues the creatures. He then looks back, smiling, the shape obscured by the darkness and his raincoat. You alright, boy? Huddle up. Oh, huddle up. We're almost there. Yes, thank you. Your focus is on the road. I peek through the wagon's front opening, past the coachman, but all I see is rain, mud, and orange lights in the distance. He was right. judging from the last one. Were you having a pleasant dream? Yes. What about? Some beauty, I bet. Actually, it's about my first visit to Rannai. So, this is your second time? I've lost count. I used to pass through every few months with my father. The coachman snaps his fingers. Right, the badger doctor and his kids. You're the kid, right? You've grown into a proper doctor. Can't tell just by looking at you. You stayed in Leopoldo's mansion. If memory serves right, did you meet any demons? You could say it was a mistake building in the forest, that the demons would chase him out. It wasn't haunted, no, but I don't think living in the middle of the forest in such a big, empty house is healthy for the mind. I mean, I don't know, yeah, maybe. Figures. Leopoldo lived there 4 years, and the new duke settled there right after assuming the title. You must be right. The new duke? He summoned you, right? Your daddy worked under Leopoldino, and now you work under his son. That's fate for you. What happened to Leopoldino? He died a little more than a year ago. His son took over after that. Let me tell you, if you thought Leopoldino was a beast, then his son is an actual demon. Ha ha ha. The orange light, I think a window, passes by the coachman, and the wagon slows down. The rain falls in a full fury, droplet after droplet bouncing off the old wolf's raincoat and splashing onto the floor. We're here, kid. Hurry on, go. There's a tavern nearby. Look at my case above me. I hop off the back into the storm. The coachman shouts, and the wagon departs, while I try to find my way within the blur of rain and wind. I follow the window's orange glow, like a lighthouse signal, mud engulfing my shoes with every step. So close. The noise of me rushing into the building draws some gazes. A few linger through the time, though with time all return to their friends, the drinks, or a lamp hanging from the wall. Most of the patrons are wolves, with a few lions mixed in, although the latter group doesn't look like guards. They must have gotten caught in the storm and taken refuge here, as evidenced by the occasional drops and wet fur smell. Sitting at the table in the corner is a lion dressed in silky clothes, and a middle-aged wolf, with an arm in a cast and an eye patch. Well, he doesn't have an arm in a cast. I was thinking of the guy in the background. The cat stares into an empty mug. The lion whispers to him. That aside, there's alcohol and sweet smell of stew being prepared in the air, which immediately reminds me how hungry I am. Man, when I get my own place, I'm gonna make stew. I only noticed the extraordinary thing about the tavern when I find the bar. Behind is a gold-plated dragon, probably the largest man I've ever seen. He's already waving for me to get closer, a wide smile on his face. And God, what a smile. It takes me back to the day Dad looked at me after I had treated my first patient. Hiya, welcome to Arwell's Nest. I'm Arwell. Looking for food or a room? This game's kind of making me want to buy and play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I didn't pre-buy it because I was like, well, just in case, it's bad. But yeah, at some point. I like the first game. Both, please. How long you plan to stay? I'm not sure. Let's say for a while. He inspects me from head to toe. I got a special offer for you. You get a room and 2 meals, just for 25 coins a day. I cringe at the last words, but still reach inside my wallet. 25? Sorry, friend, but I know you can afford it. It's clear as day that you're one of His Grace's new doctors. Ever someone ripped me off so earnestly. I could wait until the rain stops to check the other end, but walking off after that smile would leave me with an unpleasant taste in my mouth. I don't know, if someone's smiling at you with a nice big smile, Even a warm smile, but ripping you off, it's like, pass. Also, I love how in games like this or something like that, you'll see the same bottle of gin right here. What is this, like, the Queen's gin or something like that? My dad drinks it. Besides, I can afford it. Alright, sure, you got me. Thank you kindly. Here's your key. Arwell invites me to sit at the bar, saying lunch will be ready soon, but I would rather unpack first. I go up to the creaky staircase to the second floor and into the third door on my left. The storm's howling like a lullaby in the dark, musty room. My eyelids get heavier, although my belly rumbling keeps the slumber at bay. I open my case on the bed and unpack. The first thing I look for is something to dry myself with. Out of curiosity, I slightly open my window to spy through it. Below is a lamppost in the middle of the street, a few shops on the other side, and further back, the forest outline. I might have to pause this right here because, let's just say I had extra spicy food yesterday. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, it's just like, I could either try and struggle with it for another, 40 minutes, or I could just deal with it. Anyways. However, I'm more fascinated by the falling raindrops. Does he still live in Rannai, I wonder? What does he look like now? Will we recognize each other if we meet? A sigh escapes my lips. However, wherever you are, I hope there's a roof over your head, Cadgan. Next, I check my belt bag. It is properly stocked. My glasses, a few elixirs, bandages, a pair of gloves, all packed tightly inside. This way, I don't need to worry about an emergency catching me with my pants down. At the middle of assembling my brewing equipment, when a muffled shout comes from downstairs. Maybe Hardwell is calling me because the food's ready, although it didn't sound like him. It continues, and it gets louder. Curious, I make my way to the staircase to peek down. Everybody's gone. There's just chairs and seats. There's that. Hardwell is looking at a third of his size, practically crouching behind the bar. The wolf with an arm in a cast is standing up now, hurling bare-fanged accusations at a lion. The feline glares at him, his eyes clasped on the table. Or his hands clasped on the table. Not eyes. I can do stuff. It'd be weird if his eyes were. You can't do this to me. Where will my family go? Be quiet, mongrel. This is out of my control. It is your responsibility to pay your taxes on time. That said, if you lack coin, and you're unwilling to let go of your property, which actually belongs to his grace, there are plenty of other ways to repay your debt. A snarl escapes the wolf's mouth as he grabs a mug and raises it high up. The wide-eyed lion abandons his bravado and tries to dodge, but it's too late. The canine swings the mug down, only for someone to catch his wrist. During their argument, Ardwell had run into the kitchen, calling out a name. The wolf came out later. I only caught a glimpse of the blue cape and gray back as he dashed toward the commotion. This newcomer, tall and wide as a mountain, had stopped the swing at the last second. It's him, and he's got some muscles and some to spare. I'm transfixed on him, trying to extract as much detail as possible when little of the cape leaves exposed. I mean, there's a lot exposed right there. But when he looks at the other wolf, I see his face, that my mind goes numb. My legs take me downstairs, of their own accord. Damn you, Cadgan, let go. Stop it, scene. What good will it do for you to attack him? I don't care. What's the worst that'll happen? Me being thrown in jail? Ha! At least, then, I can sleep under a roof. You're naive if you think the Duke will be so merciful to a man who can't even work a plot of land. Put the mug down. Sheen struggles against the bigger man's grip, to no avail. Eventually, he lowers his ears in resignation, and does as commanded. at which point Cadgan releases him. The lion clears his throat. Are we gonna be, like, healing his arm or something like that? Because we're, like, magic or something? It'd be nice. It's good. At least one of you is reasonable. Cadgan frowns at the lion. Is this about his debt again? Duke's patience and mercy have their limits. He must repay it one way or another. How much? Excuse me? How much is it? I'll pay for him. He reaches for his purse, but Sheen protests, shock in his eye. You can't, Cadgan. You don't have that much money either. What's your plan, then? I don't know, but I earn more than most. Believe me, I'll be alright. You're the one in need here, Sheen. It's a rough time for all of us. We need to support each other, or else Rannai might break for good. I'm only doing what's right. Cadgan. The smaller wolf can't hold his tears anymore. Cadgan pats him on the shoulder, and then continues the conversation about the payment with the debt collector. I'm dumbstruck on the bottom step, with a foolish expression plastered all over my face. It takes the wolf wanting to get to his room. It takes a wolf wanting to get to his room to drag me back to reality. Hey, do you mind getting out of the way? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just, McKenna raised an eyebrow and shakes his head before proceeding upstairs. Even after the tax collector leaves, preferring the company of the rain over the wolves, there's tension in the air. Owl tries to soothe everyone's mood by announcing lunch is ready. Cadgan pats Sheen on the shoulder once more time, and then goes to sit at the bar. I stare at Cadgan all the while. Is it really him? God, he must be shorter than Ardwell. Wait, he must be? But that mountain-like disposition makes him seem like the biggest person in the room. And speaking of the dragon, he gestures for me to come closer. What are you doing? Why not take a seat, buddy? Yes, you're right. Thank you. And there's my dad's booze again. Every joint and sinew feels rigid as I sit next to Cadgan. Goodness, why am I so nervous? Are you afraid he'll greet you by snapping you in half like a twig, Hector? Wait, that isn't so unlikely. I'm afraid I didn't catch your name either, friend. I'm Hector. Hector. I'm Hector of Aubelan. The wolf's ears twitch, and slowly he looks up from the corner. By the time Cadgan's gaze falls on me, I'm resigned to whatever fate he has in store for his old friend. Back in the day, a tackle and a chokehold had become his mandatory greeting after months of absence. He was a child then, now he's a giant. Surely he will strangle me dead with his biceps and forearm, but despite knowing my inevitable demise, I feel at peace, even giddy. However, the wolf merely looks at me. Well, that's a face I haven't seen in a long time. Indeed, you've, grown. His ear twitches. And you become a full-fledged doctor. You two know each other? We go way back. Isn't that right, Hector? I clear my throat, mostly to buying time to gather my wits. Cadgan was one of my father's patients, but we became great friends during the time. I didn't know if you still lived in town, but I was planning to look for you after seeing the Duke. To think we'd run into each other right away. A chilly wind from times before Ardwell's nest, with trees and pale sunlight surrounding us near the Duke's mansion, blows past my ears. It doesn't disturb me because Cadgan leads the way with an expression hotter than any flame, stone, or iron. Before I let you two catch up, would you like a drink, Hector? The first one's on the house. Oh, of course. Thank you. It smells great. And one for Cadgan, for helping Sheen. Appreciated. Otto retreats into the kitchen to finish preparing lunch. We take sips from our drinks while we talk. You seemed surprised a while ago. Well, I was expecting to find a skinny wolf about my height. What have you been doing to earn that physique? Lots of jobs, most of them unremarkable. Nowadays, I'm a lumberjack, and the town's unofficial peacekeeper. I slapped the bar, cackling. You? Peacekeeper? You're joking. No, I'm serious. The resurfacing childhood memories bring a smile to my face. It's a small, fragile thing, but it only lasts for an instant, when he's back to that serious expression. What does Rannai even need a peacekeeper for? We never heard about there being much trouble in town. Yes, it used to be peaceful, but things change. Cadgan suddenly turns towards the kitchen. What is it? The food's ready. Ardol exits the kitchen carrying an enormous iron pot and begins serving the stew, which is a rather simple mix of egg, meat, and some fruit or vegetable I don't recognize. The latter part gives it an exotic smell that makes my stomach twist in hunger. Because we always stayed at the Duke's mansion, I didn't taste the local cuisine much. The Upindo preferred ingredients imported from his homeland. I can barely resist shoving the first 2 spoonfuls in my mouth. Control yourself, Hector. Don't embarrass yourself in front of Cadgan so soon. Want some, Cadgan? No, thank you. Feel free. The free beer was enough compensation. Let me treat you to a bowl, then. You don't have to. Yes, let me treat him. Haha. This one's helping in the kitchen. For helping in the kitchen. Ardol serves the wolf stew anyway, and walks away. After my stomach is half full and the plate half empty, I recall that what Cadgan said before the dragon returned. Even having noticed the darkness behind those words, my curiosity gets the better of me. What did you mean by earlier? By the town changing? Do you not know what's happening? I figured something bad happened, but the job description was very vague. It just said the Duke was summoning many doctors here. It'll fall silent for a moment. It started with Manolino's arrival. Leopoldo wasn't a good ruler, but he knew there were limits to how much he should intervene in town life. He ruled Rannai with an iron fist, but he knew it was more profitable to keep it sane and running. Manolino, he doesn't care. He's been putting people away from their jobs, expecting them getting them mangled out there in the valley, send them back home, expecting them to work and pay taxes as though they didn't break an arm. That's what happened earlier. That's awful. I thought there had been a flood, a big accident, or something to that effect. I didn't think it'd be this bad. But Manolino. Oh, you mean Manuel? I knew they were related, but to think he was that guy's heir. Sorry, I picked up the habit of calling him that from the others. Make sure you call him your grace and all that. And one more thing. Dolph lowers his voice and drags his chair closer. The touch of his arm against mine startles me. Whatever you do, avoid mentioning the legends about the demons to the Duke. If he brings them up, just let him talk and nod. And don't contradict him. He's not a fan of folklore. Wait, he's not a fan of folklore? Huh? Cadgan's side eyes a nearby table where some lions sit. It's not that, but let's talk about it later when we don't have as much company. And so, about you, Hector. How has life treated you these past years? Slowly, I stir what remains my stew. My memories of Rannai are nothing but sweet, but I never think about what happened next. When I wake up, I pretend I do not know. When I become a doctor, I do not know when I become a doctor, or my dad's gone. When I go to bed, it comes back to me. I shut my eyes and hope I can ignore the noise until sunrise. Maybe Cadgan wonders how come he didn't see me for 9 years, or if the situation in my town had gone resolved. I hope, but I don't. That he pries me open. All of a sudden my reading bill wakes me up from the dream, where the past doesn't exist outside of Rannai. But then, what can I tell him? Let's see. Surely it wasn't all bad. Find something that doesn't sour this otherwise happy reunion. How about this? Dad has passed away. Now he can answer the call of his clients in the city, the merchants and noblemen who called for Dr. Eogan. Gave you a look when the badger, half of his age, with eyes round like plates and shaky hands, shows up on the doorstep. Shaky hands are such a bad sign. Can you be trusted to handle chemicals? To not screw up when infusing elixirs with magic? God, you can't handle a needle like that, let alone a knife. We convince them all. You're not like your father. You're better. Even Mr. Daniels, always so rude, acknowledges it. He puts it best. You are a masterpiece. Dr. Eogan's masterpiece. 26 years, and counting, in the making. Still, in the making. So, I tell Cadgan about Dad's old clients, how they reacted when I showed up, and how impressed they were afterwards. And when Mr. Daniels had hit me in the face with my medical bag because he feared I'd slip and stab him with the needle while doing his stitches. You're very skilled from the sound of it. Had you been born a lion, you'd be in their capital, working for the nobles and whatnot. You flatter me, but, well, life dealt me different cards. Not that I'm complaining. Yes. What about your father, then? Did he retire? No, he's gone. Oh, I'm sorry. Cadgan looks at the arrangement of glasses and bottles in front of him. It happened a long time ago, so it doesn't bother me anymore. Hey, what was her name? Something with T? Teresa? She's doing well. She's expecting. Yes, her. Is it her first child? Third. She had twins, both troublemakers, like your mother. Don't tell her I said that. Which reminds me, what about you, Hector? What? Children, do you have any? No. I've had too much work to meet anybody, let alone think about children. Even if I had time, I don't know if I'd want any. Wolf takes his mug, staring at the swirling substance for a long time, before taking a big gulp. I see. The storm is letting up. Its lullaby reduced to a pitter-patter. After cleaning my plate, I stopped to take a look at the wolf while he finishes his. The last time I saw him, he was shorter and skinnier than me, but that didn't make him any less admirable. Yeah. Now, he wouldn't be out of place, illustrated as some hero of legend, or some epic. It fills me with pride that my friend has grown into such a fine man. Ooh. I'm pretty rotund myself, of course, but with muscle like that, he could lift me with one arm and not break a sweat. Pride must be visible on my face, because when Cadgan notices me looking, his smile and a glimmer in his eyes are the same as he would have whatever he showed off, whenever. I look away, feeling self-conscious suddenly. After finishing his food, Cadgan looks toward the windows. I should go. So soon? What for? Got some wood to deliver. Gotta keep everyone warm. The rain held me for longer than I would have liked. We get up, and I follow him to the door. The breeze coming from outside surprised me, making me shiver, but it's not pouring down as hard anymore. Well, I'm glad I got to talk to you again, Cadgan. Me too. The wolf stops and turns to me with a thoughtful expression. Thinking I should head back inside right away, He puts a hand on my shoulder. He pulls me closer, but in his rugged touch and now powerful smell of tree bark and damp earth that pin me in place. What will you do? I'll take a nap until the rain stops, before I head to the Duke's mansion. Sounds good. Remember what I told you. Yes, don't talk about demons. Don't disagree with them. Will you be alright? You already sound nervous. I'm not used to how big you've gotten. Ah, sorry. He pats me on the shoulder before letting me go. I'll come around again tomorrow. Let's talk more then. I smile. I look forward to it. I'm surprised to find my room colder than when I left. The first suspect is the window, but I remember to close it indeed. It's because of the rain, I suppose. Or maybe it's me. That what lends credence to the latter hypothesis is that lying under two blankets, one from the room and the other from home, doesn't help. Is that my flesh? Is that my flesh? It's not a fever, and I'm not coughing or leaking from my nostrils. Maybe nerves then? I just hope it passes. Act 1, Chapter 3. Iogen. Every day, people came and asked Dad questions, the whys and hows of pain they had. The herbs would help, and how much they cost. Whether you skinned your knee, or a broken arm, or leg, he'd patch you up. If you broke into a fever, a glance was all he needed to know what was wrong. It followed then that Duke Leopendo, who became interested in the wolf boy, afflicted by a mysterious illness, turned to Dad. It also followed that the day when we arrived at the mansion, behind our lavish room's closed door, he asked me why I lied. You fell down the stairs? At least I know you're not lying often, because you're terrible at it. He knew even when things you didn't want to hear, and had no trouble telling at all. When Grandpa was still alive, and we had one of our fights, later that night, Dad would talk again about the old tyrant of Oblan. That during his reign, he had asked for an education. They would have laughed him off. If he tried to grab a scalpel, they would have cut that hand off, and if he tried to run, they would do away with the foot instead. That at my age, instead of spending his afternoons in the classroom, he was lost in a forest with trees made of cloth and ground made of mud and blood. Trees made of cloth? Carrying a basin, as his mud and blood-caked feet splattered the sinister mixture everywhere. He went around picking up viscera that had fallen to the ground. Rather than treetops, there were hands, faces, and hanging livestock. Among the faces, Dad sometimes found Grandpa holding a large red blade. However, there's nothing compared to what the tyrant led his men to do to Aunt Nora and the other women while they were out foraging. Aunt Nora was also a child back then, and that's why this became the breaking point. Grandpa and his allies turned their blades against the tyrant and let them taste what being livestock is like. Put the tyrant's head on a stick, his wife and children's too, and allow the new lord to rise to power. And thanks to that, Dad turned us into a family of doctors. Dad loved medicine. To right the wrongs, set straight what was not, and set me straight as he did. To think that I'd repay his efforts by telling a lie. That Cadgan kid did this, didn't he? His Grace warned me he'd be uncooperative. But I don't want to hear your excuses. Go to the lavatory and make yourself presentable. Clean your nose and shake that dirt off. We're seeing our patient when you return. Yes, Dad. Our patient was Cadgan, which I didn't learn until he went to his room and found him sitting on the bed, hugging his knees and staring daggers at us. He didn't dare do anything with Dad and a guard there, but my father didn't approach him. He looked ready to jump at us, baring his fangs whenever Dad got too close, and while the guards kept us safe, his being there made it clear this wouldn't be easy. So, we kept our distance at first. Dad retrieved, I can read, his Prismillennium crystal, and gathered magic in the palm of his hand. The crystal began hovering in front of him. At his request, I took his journal and got ready to take notes. With a single eye, Dad looked at Cadgan through the crystal. He seems alright at a glance, and the Prismillium isn't picking up on anything either. That lines up with what the Duke already knew. The crystal depowered and landed in his palm. Let's wait before we continue with this. In the meantime, Cadgan, I'd like you to answer some questions. Please don't be afraid. We're only here to cure you. Do you understand? First, how do you feel throughout the day? Do you notice any symptoms before or after you fall unconscious? All questions fell on deaf ears. Suddenly, Cadgan slumped over. Dad reached into his pocket for the green crystal. What's this? His life force is flowing outwards from one of the inner layers and bouncing all over the place. Nerves, bones, flesh, skin, all 4 layers were compromised. Irregular as it was, this didn't hurt Cadgan, besides making him go unconscious around a specific time of day. No matter how much we tried to wake him up, he wouldn't respond until the life force stopped running rampant. What it did was confuse Dad. He didn't know what he was looking at. He couldn't tell, no matter how many times he looked, how much he speculated, tried elixirs on the wolf. He didn't understand or see it straight, or set it straight. I started anticipating the daily checkup, but that wouldn't be enough. No. Dad's confusion gave rise to new greed within me that wouldn't be sated so easily. So, despite how poorly our first encounter went, I would try to befriend Cadgan again. I figured more of those nuts he was eating in the woods. He was eating would make a nice peace offering. In retrospect, that was one of my better ideas, wasn't it? Act 1, Chapter 4. The 5 layers. I can't narrow this what motivated me to return to Rannai down to a single thing. At first the money, obviously, but then the night mentioned the town's name. Homesickness overcame me, but when the night told me, yeah. Not even long travels with my father elicited such a feeling. However, Rannai of 6 years ago is gone. Dad isn't here. There's a new Duke, and the town has changed. Cadgan remains, but that isn't enough to shake off the cold. In the northwest section of town, dubbed the Barren, the spread-out shacks have been removed to make space for new houses and a hospital, though only a crude sign identifies the latter. The stables where I remember them being, although no one is around yet. The rain did just stop. Rather than waiting to get a ride, I go to the Duke's mansion on foot, since it's not that far. On the way there, my thoughts shift to the new Duke, Manuel. Many times I heard of him. He's become very well known in medicine in recent years. Booth, an accomplished surgeon and a researcher. He's authored an enormous collection of journals and the bodies of many civilized species. His work is so all-encompassing, some consider it mandatory reading, no matter which discipline you practice. I snagged some of the works over the years, and I can attest there's some truth to that. His journal on boars saved my skin last summer when I had to treat one on short notice. Nothing can completely compensate for the lack of experience, but it's nothing short of amazing how much one can learn about people from faraway lands thanks to him. Not to mention, he came up with some useful gadgets, such as my glasses. It's admirable what he's accomplished so much in his age, despite his circumstances, which is why the suffering he's caused in Rannai makes me conflicted, and I wouldn't have returned if not for him hiring me. I don't know what to think. Is he like some kind of evil alchemist person? Somebody who's like, yeah, science, there should be, what's the thing? That guy from like Made in Abyss, it's like, oh yeah, we're going to unethical science, or I don't know. The mansion as I remember it, except 2 guard stations at the entrance. After I explain who I am, they let me in, and one of them escorts me to the Duke's study. It's the same guy. Inside it is excessive as was Leopando's time, just with more bookshelves than tiny displays. What stands out is the sweet scent they don't recall. Some of it is herbs, wax, and oil. There's more they don't recognize. We're already at the study's door anyway. Please wait here. After a minute of staring at the portrait of the sad-eyed lioness, the guard returns with an announcement. Dr. Hector of Oblan, the Duke Manuel Leopoldo Sabano Maria Jose Fel Agrino Manuel Ricardo. He takes a deep breath. De Rester Ricano Gonzola de Francroy y Bone y Veneza Buenosio. As I enter the study, where Dad and Leopoldo once held many private conversations, light hits me in the face. Behind the wooden desk, a window at least twice as tall as I am overlooks the garden and separates the study from the balcony, almost as wide as itself, perfectly for enjoying Rannai's afternoon. On either side of the window are cabinets full of prizes, and above those diplomas, many which are written in what can only assume are foreign tongues. The other walls are mostly occupied by diagrams and anatomic models, more bookshelves, and cupboards brimming with ornamented glasses and wine bottles. Huh. This is the guy? I was much more thinking that he would be, I don't know, the rat guy from the beginning. I find the Duke in the center of the room, working next to an operating table. My heart almost jumps out of my chest when I see what's on it. A vivisected wolf corpse, with its guts and organs spilling out. Ribcage has been sawn apart, removed, and set aside. The leg missing, revealing precise surgical incisions. The flank cut open. Under it, a sickly tinted liver. And yet, there's no smell of ammonia, nor the smell of death. The Duke looks at the liver intently, probing it with a pen. Wax. It's all made of wax. What is it? Does your kind lack the gift of speech? Oh, gather your wits, Hector, and remember the proper greeting. I am Hector of Alblan. I'm honored to be in your presence, your grace. The Duke places the pen on the tray and takes off his glove. He frowns at me. What are you, a sort of witch doctor? I hesitate before reaching into my belt bag and taking out one of my elixirs. I suppose so. I don't specialize in surgery, your grace, but I am a skilled healer. Allow me to see. He takes the elixir, inspecting it with the Presimilia monocle. he produces from under his coat. Then the lion nods satisfied. Acceptable. And while returning the elixir, his eyes trail down my belt. Is that a pair of prismarine glasses I spy? Indeed. That green tint is unmistakable. Duke Manuel drags his finger across the monocle's metallic frame. It's one of my finest designs, but I'm still quite proud of it. One of my first designs. Sorry, I swear I can read. Still quite proud of it. It utilizes copper as a conduit to more efficiently power the crystal, allowing you to activate it by gathering magic just on the tip of your fingers. It reduces the strain on the user's eyes significantly too. He clears his throat. Excellent. You are better prepared than it appears by first glance. Truly, doctors can come from any background these days. Thank you. What am I meant to do then? He opens one of the desk drawers and takes a badge from it. His golden leg is noisy as he walks. Boy, you wouldn't want golden legs because that would be heavy. Take this and head to the hospital. There, it will receive your instructions. You spotted the hospital on the way, yes? Indeed. Before I go, could you allow me to ask a question, Your Grace? He glances at the wax sculpture, but ultimately gives you the time of day. I repeat, in discreet terms that Cadgan told me, and ask him what he's trying to accomplish. Ah, so the wolves already told you about my expedition. It's wise of you to seek my side of the story. The savages can't understand the greatness of my mission. If it's wise, then why am I already regretting why I asked? Though my only choice is to listen. Now that I open my mouth. He approaches a bookshelf and grabs a thick volume, holding it to show me its cover. The 5 Layers. The foundational title, the basis of modern medicine. Do you know how old this work is? It was published in the 2nd century. In the year 162, by an alchemist and healer named Cardina, making it 710 years old. In 7 centuries, we've made little advancement in our understanding of medicine. What's more, the 5th layer, reason, remains a mystery to us. I intend to advance medicine by finishing Karina's work and unveiling the 5th layer secrets. And you think truth behind those secrets hides in Eye Valley? I have reason to suspect Eye Valley will help me for this objective. If only that corpse would remain dead. Huh? Corpse? He sighs and returns the book to its place. The demon, which shouldn't, yet does exist. The Rannai of 9 years ago is gone. Where once its demons were brought up in the pride for an era long gone, or as mischief trying to scare an impressionable foreigner, now they are spoken about as though a present threat. Be it, because speaking of them lightly will incur the wrath of the Duke, or because they do still exist. Oh, look at that face. Mono turns away, hiding the right side of his face. What are you staring at, cur? Forgive me, I wasn't expecting to hear that from you, Your Grace. Keep your eyes to yourself, unless you want to lose them. Now, enough of you. Away. By the time he waves me off, I'm already excusing myself. I've learned what the Duke wants. I'm still baffled by questions about Eye Valley, the 5th layer, demons of Rannai. However, you have work to do, Hector. Don't get distracted. I think with that, we're gonna call it. 'Cause, you know. Safe? Huh. What an interesting thing they have right here. Huh. Hey, yeah. End of this quick look. So, please comment, cause I like comments, if you like, dislike, tip, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and links to the crew, then please like, subscribe, and check out our next epic girl, please remember the mania, and we'll help control the pet population. I do wonder who this guy is in the background, because we haven't seen him yet. Just want to take a look at these things right here. Yeah, we've seen all the characters that's in the little pictures. So I wonder who that big rat guy is in the background. Maybe he's the demon? I don't know. Because it could be like a demoness demon or not. But anyways, if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the news version earlier, then you can go to Patreon, where it's $3 a month. But that's not going to be the end of this, thing. If you want me to do a Let's Play series of this game, then tell me, and I'll give it a point, which will put it up higher on the user's choice list. And if you want me to do quick looks of any other game, then tell me, and I'll give it, and put it in the quick look slot. And then, yeah, my brain's all of a sudden going. But yeah, still not the end of this Let's Play, or quick look, because we still got one more thing to do. That is, choose next week's. So put Devil's Gambit over here, and select all the things, and number 4. I did add this to the list, and I was like, do I want to do that? Can I do this without having to censor a huge portion of the screen? I don't know. It's not... Maybe I'll click over here because I do have like, let's see. I'm pretty sure I have it. Though, Okay, that might be able to save me a bit of trouble, because I was like, oh, I didn't think about this one being the one that was picked today, and the main screen is a bit stuff. I don't know, I was like, I might be interested in this game, so I'll put it. It's not furry, though. Like, some of these things are, like, furry adjacents, or, like, well, I guess quite a few furry visual novels have human characters. Oh, but let's just take this thing and... yeah. Because I think the demo doesn't have something that, stuff. And then let's minimize this so Discord doesn't do it. Boy, it's really thinking of a thing. Yeah, hold the phone. Sorry this is taking a hot minute. I guess... oh, it says demo. Oh, I have it right there. Okay. I was like, why is it saying to replace it? Because I have 2 of them. I really should figure that stuff out. Okay. There we go. My femboy roommate. A game about femboys. Though unfortunately no furries. Sad. But yeah, I didn't want to do the... like, I guess I had 2 versions. Like the one that's free, and then the one that you pay for. But the one that you pay for, is a bit like... here's a big ol' willy right in the middle of the screen. So anyways, I guess we do the synopsis of this game. So it's available for free on itch.io? Yeah, right there. But if you want to play this game or get it for in full, then it's on Steam for... oh no, wait. Yeah, it was on Steam at some point, but then it was delisted for some reason. How much is it then? I don't know. I guess $5? Yeah. You can get it for full and for $5. So the synopsis of this game is, my fanboy roommate, you've just moved into a new city and are looking for a quiet place to launch your indie dev career. You share an apartment with your new roommate, Robin. He is shy but cute live streamer who reveals himself to be a femboy. How do you reveal yourself to be a femboy if you're just, if it's... Oh, no, wait, there is a picture right there of him, like, fully furried. Okay, so I guess this technically counts. Well, I guess for ease of access, we're gonna keep it to the demo, so I don't have to... Well, I guess at some point I might have to censor shit. Anyways, reveals himself to be a femboy. Do you have what it takes to form a genuine relationship with your new femboy roommate? I don't know. Do you? But there's a picture of him here on the itch.io page where he is a cat boy. And I'm not meaning like just the ears, but like he's a white cat. Anyways, until next time, another quick look by me, GamerWolfSix, of some of the game, that being this one. Also put up the music a bit. You know. Wait, there's voice acting? Well, there could be voice acting. I don't know. Anyways, yep, thanks and see you.